Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Zana and today I want to show you how I made this amazing bread with porridge, sourdough bread. You know I'm passionate about sourdough bread, so I want to show you how I made this one. I will start with the porridge, for which I'm gonna need 10 grams of butter, 75 grams of milk, 75 grams of water, 15 grams of honey, and 35 grams of oats, flakes like these. I'll put oats in a tiny pot with milk, water, and butter, and cook this on the stove on low fire, mixing from time to time until everything will be nice and thick, and those oats will rehydrate and be really creamy, kind of like this. It takes just a few minutes. I will take it out of the stove and add honey, 15 grams of honey. Everything is in grams for breads, so make sure to have a scale. So add honey, mix it in, and let everything to cool down completely. Now let's start with the dough. I have here flour, 225 grams, 25 grams of grits, 180 grams of water at room temperature, 50 grams of sourdough starter, fed and at maximum peak, and 5 grams of salt. In a bowl, I'm gonna add water in the mixing bowl because I'm gonna use the mixer for this one. I'm gonna use mixer to knead the dough. So add water. I use a filter water, it's important. Add now your starter. I fed mine every day and keep it in the kitchen, but if you make bread just once a week or even less than that, you should keep it in your fridge and give it a few feeds before using it. Now add flour and knead it with the hook for a few minutes until the dough starts to come off the walls of the ball. I'm using a flour with 14% protein, a Manitoba flour. I tried many, not all of them are good. Add salt now and knead again for a few more minutes until that salt will be incorporated and dissolved in the dough. Now it's time for the dough to rest. I will remove it from the mixer, take out the hook. I don't need it anymore. Clean the hook. We need every bit of dough for this bread. It's gonna be a tiny bread, but it's gonna be a delicious one. I shape a bit the dough with my hands, and you need to have your hands with water, moistened with water. Cover it and let it relax for 30 minutes. I will show you here a few of the flours that I used along the time. Now I have a different one. I'm gonna link them in the description box so you can see exactly what I'm using. These ones I find them in stores here. The ones that I use for the bread today, I bought it online from an online store that brings it from Italy. Okay, after 30 minutes, remove the foil, and we're gonna laminate. This way we're gonna be able to add the porridge that we made in the beginning of the recipe. Sprinkle some water on your working surface and take out the dough from the bowl. try to stretch it on your table. From underneath, put your fingers underneath the dough and stretch it out. Bit by bit, you're gonna see that it's gonna be really flexible, and it looks like a membrane almost. So put your fingers underneath the dough and stretch it out. I try to stretch it like a rectangular. Take your time, you're not in a hurry. Laminating the dough, we will strengthen the gluten. So take your time to do this. It's actually really relaxing when you do this kind of bread. You take your time, you know, you don't think of anything else, just this. Now place that porridge all over the dough. I did it first with a spoon, but you will see with your fingers it's the best way to do it, because you feel actually where you have more porridge, and try to spread it evenly all over the surface of this dough. Now that we spread the oats, we should fold the dough. So bring one part in, put the other part over the folded one, and fold again exactly like you see. And I have a dish that I'm gonna grease with some olive oil, just because the dough is not gonna stick to it, and it's gonna come out easily out of this. So grease it and place your dough inside. Cover it with a lid or a cling film or a clean kitchen towel, and let the dough relax for 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, the dough looks like this. So I'm gonna perform a coil fold. With my wet hands, I'm gonna fold the dough underneath itself. The same on the other side. This is again one of the way on which we strengthen the gluten. And again, cover it and let it relax for 30 more minutes. After 30 minutes, again we do this. You can see the dough is transforming each time. It's relaxing, it's getting more stronger, doesn't rip off when I am stretching it. You might see some rip off just because we have that porridge inside, but otherwise the dough is really strong. So coil fold it, and now I'm gonna just let it rise until it's gonna be double in size. It's gonna take a few hours. After a few hours, you can see the dough is full of air bubbles. I sprinkle some flour on it, and I am shaping it, gather it with a scraper, sprinkle more flour, and I'm gonna place it in my banneton. And perform a few stitches to keep the dough really tight. Keep it in the kitchen for 15 more minutes and overnight in the fridge for cold retard. In the morning, I am preheating the oven at 250 degrees Celsius with the burner only underneath. I have a tray with lava rocks. I put the oven tray inside and a bowl with boiling water. I take the dough from the fridge, and I let the oven preheat like that with the stones and with the water for about 45 minutes. Look how puffy it is. It's full of flavor. The gluten has been pre-digested by the microorganism. I sprinkle on some baking paper a bit of bran because it's gonna give lots of taste, and also the bread will not stick to the tray or the paper. And place now the bread, the dough on over that bran. Looks really nice. Sprinkle a bit of rice flour if you have on top of it, because rice flour will keep the color white in the oven, and if you do any design on top of your bread, that will show up even more. So put a bit of rice flour on top of your bread and treat it with lots of care. And with the lamp, I'm gonna perform a few decorating cuts on top of the bread, and also a really deep cut, just because I don't want the bread to crack randomly. I want to show the bread where I want it to open up, and we want the ear on the bread sometimes, because that ear is just about, you know, design, but also about taste. Okay, put the bread now in the oven, in your preheated oven. I heated up some water on the stove, so I have some boiling water, about 1 cup and a half, and I'm gonna put it over the rocks. I put a bit in the tray, that was a mistake, but I didn't add it too much in the tray. Okay, close the oven and let the bread bake for about 20 to 25 minutes. Sprinkle more water, spray more water in there, close the oven, and let it bake. Looks lovely. After 25 minutes, you have to remove the water bowl, the bowl with water from the oven, because otherwise your bread will not have any color. And also you need to reduce the heat in your oven. Look how nice it's looking. So I'm gonna reduce the heat to 170 Celsius. I'm speaking in Celsius. And also I'm gonna use now the convection oven. So both burners underneath, upper and the fan, and let it in there until it's gonna be nice and golden color. Some people prefer it more roasted. I like it like this. And let it cool down completely before you slicing it. And also I place it in the fridge the next day, because it will keep fresh like that longer. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy these. Find reasons to smile, and I'm gonna see you next time with another recipe. Bye bye.